another level. Akwe what you idea say now per minister do me you. Hey, Kwadwo.
No be fro.
The way the
you papa Allan Kyeremanteng. Ene eya brantie friend no eya Kwadwo Sheldon akodi nkomo. Na according to nkomo mu kodi ye no, only say obeso obeye president. Eti okọ pages mebre so na platforms akese no koso Kwadwo eya Sheldon the page nso ye kase pa. Eti okoso na okodi nkomo no ochechiri mu kire eye Ghanafo a omutie pages bisa no eso na oche na adwene fa eye adekunti opeso obeye president no ho na nipa no so busa no questions when say honorable Ken person no obeye president no and also obeye leader Edma NPP no okọ the same pages so kodi nkomo so make ya eti Kwadwo Sheldon esanso eye Allan Kyeremanteng interview na interview is very interesting me pese uye din na utie nsema Allan kan ye nyina ubetimi do comment so comment section me did the corner ba go straight to the interview. It's video where they are Kwadwo Sheldon in the video. No?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Everything cool.
Everything
I feel
cool.
speak Fiji plus.
Oh yeah, you go on.
Make I do
you can do am.
No, you say no. You say you can do am.
You go do am.
Okay, anyway, but you've been moving from one constituency to the other, trying to whip up interest for your policies, trying to whip up interest for people to, vote for you as an option that it will make sense to them and everything. How has it been for you, though? I've been following some of the other political candidates. I've seen them move from this to that, and it looks like it's tedious. I say, how are you, going about all these things, making sure that, okay, I'm okay, by the end of the day, I need to go out there and present my, policies to the people. How has it been for you so far?
I've been in this game for a long time.
Okay.
And it's about two things. It's about strategy and organization.
Okay.
And you can spend a lot of time in the field, you can spend a lot of money in the field. But if it is not driven by strategy and organization, in the long run, it will be a waste of time.
Okay.
People are not sure why I'm called Allan Cash, but I have to use this question to explain to you.
Yes. Has it affected you? Has the name affected you, though?
Well, you wait now. You wait now. In 2004, 2005, there were like 10 to 12 key figures in government, leading ministers, who had all shown interest in campaigning to succeed President Akufo. And I was one of them. Yeah. I was Minister for Trade and Industry at that time, and the current president was the Minister for Foreign Affairs. So if you had 17 leading figures contesting for a position, then you realize that you need to be able to do things that will kind of scatter them. Scatter them complete and disrupt them.
We understand.
But because of my background in management, I decided that I will apply some management principles which will confuse them. So even with the little funds that I had, I was able to brand my campaign and create the image of somebody who had resources and who was doing. Meanwhile, people were spending more than I was doing. So when I step out and the moves that I was making, it was confusing them.
So it was like more like settings, and
oh,
okay. Because right now, on the boys, your settings, your settings.
Oh yeah.
Do any settings?
No, so
you were not spending that much.
No. But it was a vibe. And they were finding it difficult to understand. How is this guy vibing us throughout like that? But then, like I said, it was using your resources in an intelligent way. This is smart politics. I started introducing high-profile smart politics in this country with the kind of flashy branding and things like that. They thought it was money, but it was so. Somehow they said, "Oh, Allan is doing cash politics." So they said, "Oh, he's just throwing away money." So they said, "Oh, Allan Cash, Allan Cash," thinking that it will create a negative perception about me.
Yeah.
So I sat down with my strategy team and we went back and forth. Some people felt that, oh, this thing to finish your campaign, could kill you. But I said, no. when people try to be negative, use that same platform to create a different opportunity. So I said, I'll adopt it. So they gave that, my enemies gave me that name.
Please, who are your enemies?
Oh, plenty.
Hey.
Oh, them they plenty.
Them they plenty.
Oh, that, you know, what I've gone through in politics, if I didn't have a thick skin, they say, Mama be a what you say?
And I see any Sandy also attack Krache was it.
Hey, now you two do. This kind of tree, is deep.
Yes.
You know, but just like that, you know, people, when they see you, I don't know whether they feel intimidated or something like that. But I've suffered for that throughout my career.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm cool. I'm gentle. I don't create it.
Yeah.
But they know,
you still go
they know I'm hard.
Yeah.
So I decided that, look, I'll adopt the name.
Okay.
And so, because my message and my narrative were anchored on two things: jobs and cash. You know, because it's about having an income. If you have a job, you have an income, then you have cash.
Yeah.
So it's the job that would create the cash for you. So that had been my narrative, you know. So it was feeding directly into my own narrative.
Yeah.
So I just said, okay, if that's what you think, that's fine. Oh, then everybody started loving it.
Yeah.
Also for
Allan Cash.
no, cash for the bishops.
bishops,
Judges, cash for the judges.
Oh,
you know.
okay.
So I'm a grassroots person.
Yeah.
I may not look like that, but I'm very grassroots.
Yeah.
There's no village in this country where I would go and I will not be recognized or they will not remember my name. You know. So I've had that experience for all these years. So now that I decided I'll get back into the game, it has not been difficult for me. But of course, I do things and never take anything for granted.
Okay.
So it's gone very well. And to also, I have to be honest about this.
Yeah.
The circumstances in the country right now has created a compelling narrative for me.
Okay.
Because if you have two dominant parties, NDC and MPP, who have been in power for 32 years, and still we are in economic crisis, and still we cannot keep the lights on, and still we don't have water, still we cannot even feed ourselves. We are damaging our environment. After 32 years, two dominant parties. So it's almost like, But
Mr. Allan, Mr. Chairman, you served in one of the dominant parties.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, right now you are out.
Yeah.
You are seeing the damages that they have caused to the country. Now that you are out.
Yes. So you see, a patre, any type of fish comes out of water and says that there's a crocodile there. You have to believe.
But you were in.
That's exactly.
You served under Akufo.
No, so if you listen to what I'm saying, having been in, it makes me the best person to tell you that Nkoye is not going well. Okay. You understand me? If somebody outside who has never been in government, now you want to try to confuse me and say that, things are not going well. You've not even been part of it. So what is the basis for assessment?
Okay.
So if you are completely new to this game, you don't have the basis for making any judgment. But if you have been part of it, that is the more reason why people should believe you. Because you've been in there, you know. But of course, I will not spend my time, my energy, my financial resources to continue working in a system that will not produce the kind of results
you want.
Yeah, you know, because I've had a distinguished career, not only in Ghana. I mean, not only in Africa, all over the world.
Yeah.
I can tell you, look, you see, it's just that sometimes if you talk too much about yourself,
blow the trumpet.
Oh,
blow
yeah, I'm going
to
blow it more.
Blow on, make them know. Because I heard a lot of things about you at Forbes and things.
Look, I mean, if in 1994, when the millennium of 2000 was approaching, and people were confused, what is going to happen? Because this was the real new millennium. People were confused. What is going? Y2K? Some people thought that the world was going to come to an end. So Time International magazine decided that, look, they will identify the top 100 global leaders who they believe were going to determine the future of the world with the coming of the new millennium. 100 top global leaders. They mentioned Bill Gates, number one. Why did they mention Bill Gates? Because Bill Gates in 1992 has started pushing this whole brand new idea of, computers,
Microsoft,
and, PCs and things like that. So they were not just mentioning names, my brother. They were not just mentioning names. So they picked on somebody like Bill Gates. Then there was a young man in the US, John F. Kennedy Jr.
Okay.
Because of what his father had done, they saw that this is the guy who would control the United States of America going forward. They were looking at development around the world. They picked one guy called Jeffrey Sachs. Jeffrey Sachs is the leading development economist in the world. So the kind of people,
the caliber of people,
were people who they believed would change the world. Then they mentioned Allan Kyeremanteng of Ghana. 1994.
But I'm 1994. Now,
So when you were born, they were already mentioning me in higher places.
They look at me sitting here with you.
No, so
it's a privilege.
Like, people don't want to celebrate their heroes, it's very unfortunate. But I mean, because you're asking me these questions, that's why I'm responding. Around the same time, Mandela had just been released from prison. And with that prison chair, by the time of your life is... So when he came and he realized, first black president of South Africa, and he realized the anonymity of the challenge, these black businesses, non-existent, poverty. So he started looking around the world for experts who could help him build black business, because he could not rely on the white South Africans, having put him in jail for all these years. To come and then. So he invited 7 experts. 1994, Allan was one of them. And after that, I introduced what was called Enterprise South Africa, Enterprise Botswana, Enterprise Uganda, Enterprise Mauritius, building businesses in all these countries. Not when I was in politics. This outside, my life outside politics. So if you want politicians who have a record, don't pick people who have become known because of politics.
Affiliation.
Yes. Now, you are nobody. So that's not the kind of leader you want. And look, remember, every great nation in this world has been great because of great leaders, not great parties. I mean, you talk about Singapore and Ghana, people are, Nasinka, Lee Kuan Yew, you can. So then you realize that it was one man, Lee Kuan Yew, who made Singapore what it is today. China, all that we're looking and talking about China, it took Deng Xiaoping, 1989, when they got a transformational leader like Deng Xiaoping to turn China around. And China, from one of the poorest countries, now is the second most powerful economy. So it's about leadership. Don't let anybody confuse you. This party stuff, it has no basis. I'm telling you. Yeah, and I think Ghanaians, some that they pumped in our minds that it's party. It's nothing to do with party.
But that is where movement for change is heading towards. Because at some point, you would want to. I was going to ask you a question about mobilization. Okay. You said you're a grassroots person, right? Yeah. And you know the importance of grassroots politics. Now, you need to go down there, have party structures.
Yes.
If you want to win and win convincingly, you need the grassroots people. Setting up party structures. How is day for movement for change? Because you can go into the constituency and just campaign to them, but you need representation. How has it been?
You see, and I'm happy that you've brought this up.
Yeah.
When people hear about movement because they think it is all their party, they feel that, oh, where are your structures?
Yeah.
Look, the kind of movement and the organization I have on the ground is deeper than NDC and MPP. I'm telling you.
Based on what metrics?
You see, because I cannot challenge the status quo of a duopoly of NDC and PP and come again talking about the same party structure. If you are challenging the status of it, you have to create a different. But that has nothing to do with the substance and the structure of your organization. Look, the so-called structure that you think the big parties are, they don't have trade, they don't have anything.
They have party offices.
Oh, my brother, I'm telling you, me, I've been there.
You've been there.
They say police station executives.
Yes.
I'm chairman of this thing. Do you know how the police station executives are selected?
No, please.
Sit down. In some cases, they just write. If you go, one person, he says he's chairman. They write down his wife, his children, their police station. They don't do any work. I'm telling you, it is in name. You see, and the reason why Ghanaians, I think, should take what I'm saying very seriously.
Yeah.
You think that they are structures, and they are there in name. Because when it comes to primaries, people use money to create an album and they put some names there.
Yeah.
And you think that none of these parties understand what it is to do real house to house. Because the people who you claim are there as grassroots, are they not the ones who have been complaining?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time.
I don't know the ones who have been complaining.
Yes.
So if they are there really...
But maybe they are blinded by political colors. They view things through political lenses. So I'm suffering, but my party is MPP. I'll vote for them.
The skills are falling off their eyes now.
Okay.
Yes. If after 32 years you are still complaining, so then what kind of political color are you talking about? But the truth of the matter is that I have gone much further down the scale than the political parties. So I have volunteers at the minutest level in the structure.
Yeah.
And these are people who believe in my cause and they've dedicated themselves to my cause. And so they are on the ground. So don't be deceived by the fact that, oh, this is a political party, this is a movement. The structure that I have on the ground, it is deeper than a political organization.
Are they compensated?
No, you see, but that's the difference.
So I want to know that.
No, but you're right.
With this side, they are compensated.
You're doing some very serious political analysis.
Yes, I know. Because
you see, look, I mean, I've done interviews. Yeah. Some people, when they get mic, they are just running their mouth. But you are going deep. And then what you are saying now will be some questions.
It's Allan Kyeremanteng. We have to do the job, the groundwork.
So what I'm saying is that what the structures that I have on the ground is based on volunteerism.
Political volunteerism.
Political volunteerism, because I've come out. I'm saying I'm fighting for a cause. Those who want to support that cause, please sign up. And the way people have rushed to sign up for a new organization, it's amazing. If I give you my database, you'll be shocked.
Okay.
But because we are an open source platform, so but that's exactly what I'm saying. Is people who believe in my cause.
Yeah.
They are the ones who are my volunteers.
What do you sell to them?
Yes.
What do you tell them?
Hope.
Hope.
And that Ghana will rise again.
We will rise. Are we down?
And that in spite, we are down.
Yeah, that form.
We are, I don't know the worst form of down.
Down flat.
Down flat. We've gone ground zero and below. But are you not aware?
Let me just, I'm a neutral person.
Oh, you.
But I know what you're talking about.
Please.
We have to be honest.
Let's be honest about this. Even MPP leaders,
they know. They've admitted.
They've admitted.
Yeah.
So let us not deceive ourselves.
Yeah.
Things are so bad now that, in fact, there is no justification. Or the MPP, for example, should not have any moral authority to say that they want to come and continue.
That's a bold statement.
But that's, look, and the alternative also cannot be NDC. You see, that's the thing. The MPP, they don't have any case at all.
They don't have any case.
They don't have any
No
case.
grounds to campaign.
No grounds because I'm sure I said to them,
okay.
You are feeling it. It is not about Allan wanting to be president. It's about what is your own condition in life now. If Oyari say, and they ask you to go and do a lab test, you go die.
Hey.
You say, hey.
I'm saying no, me pie me man.
The true lab test, my brother, you are finished. So all I'm saying is that as for MPP, they should not even talk. Me, I've been a founding member of the party. I know where we started from, But it doesn't mean that NDC is the alternative because they have been in the same situation. They left after 8 years with Ghana having to go to IMF.
Okay.
So the value is the same. Whether it's
the
NDC,
MPP too went to IMF.
Yes, but MPP is there now.
Yeah.
NDC, before they left, they took us to IMF.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
Okay.
If Ghanaians want to be really fair, as for those two, they shouldn't be. No option. Because both of them, after 8 years, they land you in IMF. They land you in crisis. So what is the basis for even contemplating that it is an option to bring them back? You understand me?
Yes.
So this is where the narrative about Allan becomes important.
Light now. Okay, Abba. It's the Ghana that you are talking about. That is what Ghana just happened to us. But the lights are back. But so fighting these established geopolitics.
Yes, yeah.
On the other side of things, people have argued that politics of monetary compensation day. You are campaigning on volunteerism. People are volunteering to work for you. How difficult it is to, fight these two status quos. These people, they have resources at their disposal.
Yes, absolutely.
They can come for you, smear campaigns and everything.
Yes.
You are just going all out and just doing your thing.
Yeah.
How hard it is for you to fight these systems.
But that's why I made a point earlier on that it's not just about Allan and what I can do or not do. It's also about our current circumstances.
Yeah.
If there's ever been a compelling case for change, that time is now. So you see, the circumstances have conspired to create a new vim and new appetite for change. So apart from my own little modest attraction as a politician, the circumstances have generated a certain new environment that is seeking for change. So it has nothing to do with just Allan.
Personal interest. It
is Allan plus the circumstances.
Okay.
So if I can tell you, if Ghanaians had the option and then we were voting today, most people will either not vote or they would vote for change. And it is clear. Right now, 7 out of every 10 Ghanaians you put together, they are looking for change. And Allan is representing that change. And I've made it clear. So, yes, the two dominant parties may have the resources, but people are making it clear that whether they bring money or not, they are tired and they want change. How can you have two parties competing about who is more corrupt? I mean,
corruption Olympics.
And which one has destroyed the environment more?
Okay.
Which of them were doing galamsey more than the other?
I have destroyed more water than you.
Is this the kind of
it's a competition? Yes, that's what we are doing.
Is the kind of competition.
That's what they are doing. Not men can't be.
And who took galamsey?
I mean, to be. But then when I heard that statement, I was disappointed because we vote people to come and fix issues, right? So the politics of equalization has been a problem.
That's the problem. The politics of equalization.
I don't get it.
And I also feel that we don't audit the background of our leaders.
People that represent us.
And those who are fighting for power. Somebody wants to represent your interest. Please, take time and verify that person's background. What has he done before to justify your vote? What has he done before? Not what has he done in politics? So it's a question of us being a bit more circumspect. If we take our time and compare, you will find the right person. And I can say, I mean, in all modesty, that if it's about ex-President Mahama, if it's about Dr. Bawumia, if it's about who else? Cheddar,
yes.
Or any of the other independent candidates. And we are doing an objective assessment. Objective. Number 1, vision. Number 2, competence. Number 3, integrity. Number 4, capacity to execute. We are doing an assessment on these 4 bodies. You find that Allan is your candidate.
But they will say Bawumia introduced us to digitalization.
To what? To introduce what?
Digitalization.
I have done more practical digitalization than he has ever been. Talking about digitalization is different from actually having the capacity to lead a digitalization effort. I'm not a technical man, but I understand what digitalization is. That's why I'm saying I have 4 different tech platforms that I have created. You can look at Trade Africa Online.
Okay.
The first e-commerce platform to support the African trade. Not the one that everybody is selling like, you are competing with Alibaba or you are competing with Amazon. No. This is indigenous African trade. Because why? And I'm proud to say that I was the chief architect of the African Continental Free Trade Area. From design to development to implementation, conceptualization, which is the biggest project in Africa since Nkrumah's time. So if the chief architect, the chief designer for this project is now looking for the vote of Ghanaians to become the president, we should believe in him. And so it should not be difficult for you to understand that having created that, I can also create a tech platform to facilitate intra-African trade. You get me? Right now, if you go to all the e-commerce platforms, they are selling everything. But that one, you're only competing with Alibaba or competing with, I'm talking about. And so we could go on and on. And I have created another platform which I haven't launched yet. It's called the 3 Million Job Platform.
And it's a Jumabebo
Youth Employment Digital Platform.
Okay.
3 million jobs on the line within the first 1.5 years of an Allan presidency. And because I know what is going to happen in Ghana. And so I'm not waiting till you become president and then you start looking for those who can do what. If you profile yourself on that platform now, which I'll launch not too soon, you get into the system now. And inshallah, Allan becomes president. Within 1.5 years, those 3 million jobs, that's whether you have a job or not. Because the kind of quality jobs that would emerge from my great transformational plan, I need to prepare the skills for those opportunities.
Market.
Not for the market. Yes. Not when you are there, you start thinking about, who can I feed into the new petrochemical industry? I've talked about 10 new strategic industries that is going to blow up the country, diversify the economy away from just cocoa. Over 100 years, Ghana is depending on one commodity. Why will we not be poor?
Allan, what about the youth? What thing you give us?
Hey, plenty.
Because
plenty stuff.
We've gotten to the level where you see every day you see people traveling out of the country. Nurses, doctors, people who have even specialized, they are traveling out of the country. And the last time the Ghana Medical Association president did a presser, he said the basic underlying factor is monetary compensation. People are not being paid for what they are worth. And even if the money is coming in, it is not frequent. Now, a lot of things are happening. Graduate unemployment, and we just did. This one will come and tell us
stories.
Social stories, then books, then a whole lot of things. Me, as I sit here, as I finished my national service, I was supposed to do my service in another region. Me, I don't get money. They say make her go rent. The woman too, they take what?
They go take advance, 5 years rent advance.
Where I go get the money from? Problem day for the youth. What did you have for us? I know that the 10 pillars.
So
you say you don't have a manifesto. Yours is a plan.
It's a plan.
Because you know how to do it.
Yes. So for the youth, anybody that cannot tell you what his plan is, don't believe him.
Okay.
Don't believe him. I have a plan.
But people say they go reduce betting tax or they go remove betting tax. They use the bet.
So that's the only thing you can promise the youth of Ghana.
Said boys are betting investors.
I can quadruple what you can get from betting. Because this betting stuff you can lose too. You know, we say
more of the boys they lose. Then they lose.
Hey, Maza, when they have to be your history, phobia, campus Lego. This is it. Now, open him, chacha to China. No. Like I mentioned some names here.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that. We could just stay on that level.
But you know.
Yes. But that is what the youth they are engaging in because there are no jobs.
Yeah, but so the point is that they have had to bet, not just because they want to bet.
Yes.
You see, if there are other opportunities, they may take a decision. Okay, maybe I can do this. So I don't necessarily have to bet, you know. But the point is that if somebody has a plan and there's clarity about the plan, make sure that you give that opportunity to him to come into power to implement the plan.
Okay.
So I have this 10-point plan.
Yes.
And I want us to take it seriously.
Yes.
Because you see, if you want to help a young person, it's either you help him to get a job or you help him to create his own job.
Yes, enabling.
Those are the two things. True. Either he gets into self-employment, or you provide access
like what we are
job.
doing.
So let us start because of the creativity and the innovation of young people now. The starting point is not even telling people that you can get a job yet. The starting point is, look, I give you big opportunity to create something for yourself. That's the starting point. So that's why I've said that, look, 80% of young people in this country who are not in formal jobs are in trading. True or false?
True.
They are in trading.
Yeah, true. CEOs on Instagram.
Oh, you cut you right now. Like you come, you are there. What's your
Papa?
Papa. Nini Papa no. Who be saying who phones are may pay? Be iPhone.
Yeah.
Do you have it or not? You won't say yes or no. You say
I they come. Yes, you will go find them.
You will go
wherever you go bring them.
You go bring them. So it's like we cannot run away from it. The majority of the people are in commerce. They are trying to survive. So whilst we would hope that people will move from commerce and trading into manufacturing, whilst they are there in trading, help them to boost their commercial activity. So the first thing is what I've said. Traders Bank. You know, government should not ever think that they can on their own provide funding for every but allow the traders to own their own bank. Give them the seed funding. Help them to start their own bank. Do you know how many traders there are in this country?
A lot.
Out of the 34 million. Because everybody is selling. So it will become the most powerful bank in Ghana. Do you know how many people are selling? And so this is just it's just processing it. Now, so if government provides the seed funding for this, it's like we can pay. You understand me? And then they consolidate their numbers. You see what kind of bank I'm talking about, this new traders bank. Because remember, even teachers or nurses, teachers, they are not as many as traders. But do you know the level of investments the teacher unions have? They have hostels, they have hotels.
Yes, hotels,
Because once you pull people together, small money they add, then it's a lot. So can you imagine a traders bank? And you maybe like the whole country, you go and put your, even if it's 100 cities that you got that day, you go and put it there. That's it. This is taking Susu to another level. After what you idea as I now per minister, hey, Kwadwo. The way the man is moving,
I'm auditioning. Nobody knows.
No, so that's what it is. It's going to be the most powerful instrument in Ghana to support those who are in commerce, you know. And then the kind of interest rates, because it's their own bank. Anybody who wants to do something small on their own, as a young person, it's never going to happen under an Allan presidency. Because if you go to a bank, they'll say, where is your security? Collateral. Your equity and all that. But because this is your own bank, they know that they'll give you, you'll pay. You get me? So that's the first one. The second one is the fact that we are supporting those who are in trading does not mean that we should also not transition them into more formal businesses. So I've said that you will ask the banks to provide part of their profits to new collateral-free. Listen to me. So our banks now, I had to say, around that, they have money. Now, as an incentive to support young people, that they will provide collateral-free concessionary loans to youth-owned businesses. So it means that government...
Zero collateral.
Yes. Apart from zero collateral, it's also concessionary. Concession meaning that the interest rate is lower than the prevailing market rate. And so government is now going to provide incentives to the banks to be able to give this concessionary free.
Is the Allan government capacitated enough to do that?
But this is exactly what is going to happen. Because if something should happen, there must be a plan to activate it. And that's why this GTP and my 10-point plan is great. Because as soon as Allan becomes president, you start operationalizing these policies.
Yeah.
And it's not complicated. And then we are saying that, look, if you go to the most powerful economies, they all have what they call sovereign wealth fund. Sovereign wealth fund meaning that the country is able to mobilize their own resources and put that into a fund. That is called the sovereign wealth fund. And then, because that money belongs to all the people, then they can use it to support vulnerable groups like young people. So under this plan, we will use the sovereign wealth fund, which Allan government will create, to establish a youth entrepreneurship development fund.
Do we not have it in existence?
Oh,
we have it. The MPP government, they have it.
What you mentioned the name?
There is something. Something you.
Those ones. That's the point, you know.
Yeah.
But this one is a dedicated fund.
Okay.
Which is going to be financed through the sovereign wealth fund. Government does not even have the capacity to pay salaries and raise incomes. You know. So when you hear about, we have a fund, it's all development partners. World Bank, IMF, all these development partners that will give some small money. That's not the kind of entrepreneurship development fund. This is a significant, substantial fund. And so I could go on, but what I wanted to point out that the starting point to help young people is to make funding and financing available. Because if you have financing, then your creativity and innovation can be realized. Because it's all about money. Mark Zuckerberg and all these people, do you know how they became who they are now? Because when they left school, including Bill Gates, when they dropped out of school, of course, they didn't have the capital, but there was a fund. It's called the Small Business Loan Fund in the United States of America, where as a young person, you have ideas, you go to that fund, it is collateral free. They don't ask for collateral. There's no equity. It is the government that has created the fund to support innovative ideas. So that's where they all started from. And that's how come you find so many big companies and entrepreneurs in America. So it's the same thing we are talking about. With
the funds, money will be out there.
Money will be out there.
Corruption. How do we make sure the money that we are, all these funds and everything is given to the right people? People will not favoritism, man. You know the kind of system that we have.
I understand.
Now, sometimes I watch the Public Accounts Committee. They bring in people, they drill them. It's like, go home, you are done. Nothing. It's like the system is toothless. So, an Allan government, how is Allan government going to fight corruption to make sure that we don't waste our resources? We don't have people in position of power just spending our monies on anything they want and everything they want.
Just for the benefit of your fans. I want us to understand that there are two separate issues. What I'm talking about, supporting youth innovation and enterprise, that is paramount. But that is also different from corruption. It's two sides of the same coin. Because it is in an economy that is driven by public procurement. That is where corruption comes in. Now, where does the corruption come from?
So Allan is advocating for a capitalist economy.
Completely. This time, you are shopping. Hey, the man, they process that thing very quick. No, because that's exactly, except that the use of the word can confuse people. Instead of a capitalist economy, I am promoting an enterprise economy. But you are 100% right. And I've been trying to pump this idea to show the difference between Allan and all the rest.
Wealth in the hands of the people.
Jobs for the people, cash for the people. So You are right. Maybe when you say capitalist economy, that's how people will say. But there's some kind of negativity also associated. But it is an enterprise economy, an economy that is driven by business, by the private sector. Every serious, modern, powerful economy is an enterprise economy. And you name them, from United States to China to Japan to Germany to France. All of them enterprise economy.
But you came from a government that believed in introducing social intervention, which is more a socialist.
Why has that taken us?
Free SHS is helping us.
So
I'm a product.
So look, free SHS is good. Don't get me wrong. Because they are always vulnerable and marginalized groups in society.
Yes.
You understand me?
Yes.
So it's good to have programs that will take care of vulnerable groups.
Yeah.
However, if you create an environment where people have to expect that everything is free, you are actually undermining their capacity to make money. And it will come to a point where it's not even sustainable. So free SHS is a good policy. Allan Kyeremanteng will continue it.
Okay.
But we will undertake an assessment of how it can be improved in terms of operationalization. But this is different from an Allan government building an enterprise economy that is saying that I will give you money, I will show you where to invest your money. If you have difficulty in managing your business because you may not have that capacity, Allan is creating a brand new organization called the Ghana Executive Service Organization, GESO, which is now going to be made up of all these semi-retired and retired experienced people. Do you know, some of you, maybe your fathers and things like that, they've been working at high capacity levels. They are 60 years, 65, they say go home. They are sitting at home with all the knowledge and the experience. They are sitting at home. But this new institution then brings them together, and they now can be seconded to these youth-owned companies to support them to have viable business. In this case, they are not looking for pay. They are at home, they have their pension. So a little allowance to just keep them active. That is going to, if you go to all the advanced economies, they have this structure that I'm talking about. The United States has it, Canada has it, UK. And the reason why I'm saying that it's unfortunate I have not trumpeted mine. I was a member of the board of governors of the British Executive Service Organization. Look, you see, this is GESO, the British Executive Service Organization, meaning that all British experts, semi-retired, and in fact, even serving professionals can also join. I was a member of the board of the British Executive Service Organization. That organization later was even consolidated with VSO. I'm sure some people know about VSO. So if I'm sitting here in Ghana and
you can replicate it,
I am a board member of the British Executive Service Organization. That is serious business. And that's how come now I can say that I can replicate it in Ghana.
Youth in governance and reorientation of our people.
Fantastic.
We have a problem when it comes to our attitude towards a lot of things.
Yes.
And
you mean the young people?
Recently,
like
our patriotism, you said, and you see, you can't blame them much about the fact that they are not patriotic because they wake up, they see what the people in position of power are using their taxes for. So they go like, of mine cry this. So it's like right now, every youth is like fighting for themselves. Like, let me do whatever I want to do and that's why people can actually do a video and tell you that the Dutch passport is this as compared to this. They see the ECOWAS passport as some contumely. Like they have different ways of describing it.
Yeah, because it's green.
They don't see the use of it. They prefer other passport. And that you can categorize it as people being unpatriotic and all and things. How are you going to reorient people to the point that, okay, now we are back. People are nationalists. People are viewing things through national lenses. We are trying to nation building everyone.
No, it's a question of, again, advocacy and leadership. Because like you're saying, a mindset change cannot happen by chance. It will not just happen. But first, you need to recognize the importance of it. Number two, you have to advocate for it. You may say it's important, but you have to advocate. People have to talk about it. The need for that mindset change amongst the young people. Then you need to have an institutional framework that would actually support the mindset change. Professor Buzia, who became Prime Minister, he was head of what was called the Center for Civic Education. After the overthrow of Nkrumah and the NLC came into office. During that 3-year period, there was the need for that same orientation. And Professor Buzia established the Council or Center for Civic Education. So that is when you start not just talking about it, but you preach about it in churches, in a mosque. You also write, and it's a whole cultural
reset.
Or reset. I'm saying, what cultural reset. That was on your bad.
Thank you very much.
Cultural reset. That I think is such a beautiful narrative.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's a cultural reset. And so the fact that Allan has identified that as a major problem and is prepared to put the institutional structures in place to advance that. And bottom line is that the young people will see that now hope is on the way coming. And once they see that hope is on the way coming, they will feed into that cultural reset. But if they don't see any hope, and you are talking about cultural reset, but all the kind of things that the GTP is talking about, if Allan says that there has to be a cultural and mindset reset, they know that it is a reset cast within a certain context. Not just, just reset your mind, or rebooting. This is not just a reboot, Keke. You are rebooting, you are resetting within a certain context. Look, I'm just praying that people really interrogate what I've been talking about. As against what...
Do you feel like people have not been paying attention? Attention to what you have been saying? But this is a beautiful expansion on what is in the document.
But how you for blame me? Because I've been talking about this. Now, here one say, they say, you've lost faith in politicians.
Yes.
So when people talk, it's like, Allan,
he's one of them.
He's one of them.
He's one of them.
So that's the kind, you are bunching all of us up. But I really want, especially when I've made a commitment that I'm a transitional president. I've said it. I said, look, I wish that we could have a youth movement that would take power from us. But unfortunately, the young people themselves, they are down. So they cannot propel themselves. So what Allan is doing is just to create the pathway and propel you and then give you the platform to take over. So that's what I'm saying. And I said the best way to do that is to appoint a young vice president, demonstrably young.
Yes.
Then you can believe that I'm actually creating a pathway.
Is that why you appointed Mr. Kwame?
Absolutely. And I made it a commitment. When I met with the media, I said that, look, my interest is to create a pathway for young people.
Yeah. You are so much interested in the youth.
Oh, yes, because
no.
You see, if at the age of 22, like I'm saying,
you see potential in us.
No, at the age of 22, I am a manager in the largest company in Ghana, where normally you spend like all your life, 30 years before you even get to a promotion.
Yeah.
And if at the age of 22, I'm a manager, it means that at that age, if I could compete with, why now? Why are people being the
untapped potential in
That's
us?
the point, So when I say I believe in the young people, it is grounded in reality because I've seen the potential I had, and I feel that we should replicate it for other people. I went to secondary school at the age of 9. Yeah, Sure. At the age of 9, I was in Form 1 at the Sada College. So when somebody is talking about young people, then you should audit it and see, this man, the thing we talk about, is it real or is just talking? At the age of 9, you see?
Senior high school at the age of 9?
Yes, at the age of 9.
That's crazy.
So it means that I know that if we push this youth agenda, look, I have a philosophy. If you give a young person a job and he fails, don't worry. First time, he will fail. Second time, he will fail. Don't worry. Third time, he will succeed. So you just give them the opportunity to go through, and then even if they struggle, in the long run, they will succeed.
Creative arts. Yeah.
Creative arts.
Yeah. You appointed someone with a creative arts background. It has sparked a conversation online.
Yes.
I think it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But what is in...
It is relevant. Why is it relevant? You mean that the debate is irrelevant?
The debate, I feel like we are concentrating on the trivialities.
No, you're right.
But the man is an astute lawyer.
Yeah.
He's lived, he's served, he's
absolutely.
working. Yes, I don't know.
He's a corporate man and things like that.
What is in the Allan government for the creative arts people? Because for us, it's when you people are doing campaign that come and call us, come and shout for you. We'll be performing and we'll be doing placement for you. But the creative arts, we have the creative economy. The last time I checked, for worldwide, it's about 93 billion on tap. Africa is sitting on somewhere.
It's even more than that.
It's even more than that. So what is in the Allan? What is it for us?
I want always to make sure that I take people right down to the text of what, because people also have to know the content. Don't just be pleased with some slogans. What is the guy saying?
Okay.
You are not asking me what does Allan have?
Yes.
First, I say establish a creative industry fund to support young artists, filmmakers, musicians, and content creators in the literary arts. What better testimony do you need? Because look, in this creative arts field, it's all about money. For you to shoot a film, so the point is that if there's no money, you can't develop talent.
Yes.
So that's the first thing. Anybody who is a serious, all the people who are struggling as they say, is because they don't have access to financing.
Yeah.
To rent one camera. Or to put together.
To buy one camera is
not buy. My brother. To buy. Even to rent.
Yes. I mean, they're buying, they are over.
Yes, you're buying.
Yeah.
It's about money.
Yeah.
And when you go to Hollywood, I was ambassador to the United States. Ghana's ambassador. Yeah. So me, I have a little.
My bro,
Charlie. They wait too long. So I'm saying that's the first thing. You have to put money in the creative industry. Because if they go to the banks, no bank will give money for creative industry.
True.
Because they don't even understand it.
They don't like
They think that, this man, you are just wasting.
I've been there. People invite us to go and have meetings. Like, you are a failure. You don't have a future. They tell us.
Yeah. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
But the second thing is that when they have access to funding, creativity and innovation has to be sold. You understand me?
Yeah.
To monetize it.
Thank you.
If you don't monetize it, then
there's no money.
You have to monetize it. Yeah. To monetize it, you have to create a platform and an opportunity for the talent to be shown. If the talent is not shown, how can you monetize it? So number 2, host an annual youth and arts culture expo to showcase the talent of young people in the creative industry and provide networking opportunities for them. Masa, normal American, this is cutting edge, maybe. Because like you finance them, you have to give them a platform to showcase. Now, when you have that in a big annual expo, that is where networking. You go meet somebody at that expo. And your whole life
Tyler Perry, and
yes. You see? No, people they talk, they don't have ideas. Number 3. It says
Allan the throw shots, ladies and gentlemen. Allan is throwing shots.
Throw punches.
They throw punchlines. It is coming.
Hey, last time I go beat this guy.
Why?
Bukom Banku. You don't see my video.
That one.
You don't see my
there's
video.
There's inside for you. There's
3 punches, then the man there in the ground.
Bukom Banku, okay. No problem.
Then number 3, introduce new legislation and regulations and enforce existing IPR rights, intellectual property rights, for people in the creative industry, particularly the young ones. Because look, this intellectual property thing, if you don't have money, you cannot defend your IPR.
Most of our artists are being paid 300
because people will violate it.
Yeah.
But if they violate it and you don't have money, you can't even hire
a lawyer to fight for you.
You understand me? Yeah. So the point is that we have to have legislation that protects the intellectual property rights of people in the creative industry. Right now, they are just being cheated.
Yes.
Somebody, you have created a thing. Somebody there somewhere where he gets some small money from bank. Then you come and take advantage of you and start selling your stuff.
Ideas, yeah.
And they won't recognize you.
Yeah.
Oh, that one is not there.
It's very prevalent in our space.
Oh, yes.
People lifting people's ideas, content, repurposing it. And it's like when you even argue for credit or like, oh, at least credit me, they say, nah.
Yeah.
It's an open market for everyone.
Then it says that integrate the youth in local communities in the development and promotion of tourism. This one is super. Integrate the youth in local communities in the development and promotion of tourism by supporting youth-owned businesses around tourist areas. Look, Elmina, Cape Coast Castle, all these castles, if you have the right leadership, the number of youth businesses, people go to New York, they are selling T-shirts.
I love New York.
Look, and if you're a young person, you can buy T-shirts and then stamp them and just create a dynamic brand out of that. And around that place, when people come as tourists, they are prepared to spend money. But if there's no effort to support businesses around tourist locations, people go to the castles, they come back, there's nothing to buy.
They go and cry and come, most of the time.
So then it says that support digital content creators.
That is why I come in.
Maza.
Yes. That is where I come in.
Support digital content creators, including but not limited to influencers, bloggers, vloggers, by facilitating access to training, global market exposure, and the monetization of content.
I'll vote for you, Allan.
It's so difficult for people. No. I can't believe why people don't see what I can offer. Look, if I'm president and I'm traveling, I take bloggers, I take vloggers, I take influencers. Because when I'm there, It's not just carrying people with heavy camera as no.
You need to tell your
because
story.
You see, when you are in the new media, that is
you
where
said new media. You know it.
Hey,
he said new media.
He said new media. If you put 4 people on your trip to every place you go to as a head of state, the reach that you can get.
Amplification.
If you just take GBC, anywhere, they come, they shoot, they show, that's the end. But the new media content creators, they're the ones who can amplify what you as a head of state.
Yeah.
When you go around, those are the trips. It's ideas.
When they are doing the wow.
It's ideas.
Wow.
Then I'm saying that offer tax rebates and other incentives to telcos in order for them to reduce the high cost of data. You can't do all this with high cost of data.
They're sending me a message. I've used 70% data. Expensive for Allan. Allan, bro.
And then I said,
Allan,
expand the network of innovation hubs by providing physical and virtual space. I mean, if you're a content creator or you are a tech, you don't have the money even to go and rent space. So it is innovation hubs and things like that. So as for the ideas, there's not just ideas. This is, look, Obibetima Kasa, but Osha, at the end, you can't program the idea.
Yeah.
But if you look at the things I'm talking about, these are policies that you can program. Because the way it is stated, it is very easy now to go into execution. You understand me?
Yeah.
So
Allan,
that's the difference.
Housing and home ownership. Rent. Rent. And quite I'm the chassis. Allan, me landlord, I was in 2 years. We have housing issues in this. And you see, we have institutions that are supposed to work when it comes to some of these things. It is even against the law out there that you are not supposed to pay.
Yes,
we are not enforcing anything. As a young person, you are a youth-driven person, so you need the youth out there. Even if you can't rent something that will sort you out in there. What is your plan for house ownership, housing, rent, and all these things that is thrown all over the place? No regulation, nothing.
Housing, there are only 2 options.
Yes.
It's either you own or you rent.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about home ownership first. Because, see, I think that the dream of every young person is to be able to own a house. But how are you going to own a house if you're a young person? And that is why I have made a categorical policy statement that, look, if you create a mortgage financing institution, the mortgage financing institution will support every young person to be able to own a house. Because when they say you own a house, it means that you have a mortgage for 25, 30 years. It's only Ghana where you have to put down fiscal cash before you own a house. But the mortgage financing company that an Allan government will establish would make it possible for you as a young person to pick a house of your choice, and then the finance company will give you a 30-year mortgage, and then you pay. But the key to that is that you should have a paycheck every month. It means that you should have a job that will give you basic income for you to contribute to.
And you are going to provide that job.
But that is, everything is interrelated.
Everything is,
So I create an opportunity for you to get a job. I create an opportunity to be a first-time house owner. As soon as you finish school, you have the opportunity to have a paycheck. And then based on that, you can get a house. It's like a dream. But that's how it is. It's very easy. It's not complicated. And then if you don't have the courage to own a house from the beginning and you want to rent, like you said, the laws about rent control.
Yes, rent.
Why are they not being implemented? Because if you read the legislation, it's so woolly. no landlord would even respect it. Have you been to a rent office before?
No, I've
there are nipa no to ono kra osi wo ye rent ono kra po ye to na free.
You say the rent.
The man where he say there's a control.
The one in the control rent and they come out.
They come out.
Hey, asem kesi.
It requires a complete re-engineering. It's a complete re-engineering thing. You know, the laws, the offices, the institutional thing, and obviously also the institutional backup. You know, so you need mortgage financing, particularly to support first-time house owners.
Okay.
So it means that it has to be a moderately priced. In the 80s, through my own effort, no 18 years ago.
No patcho there.
In the 80s, I brought top-level real estate magnate from Florida. Because Rapuna was yes, he gave me his architect to come. We were building a new technology that will build a house 80 square meters, 2-bedroom for $10,000. $10,000. Fully fitted. Fridge, oven,
furniture,
fully fitted in about one container. $10,000. And because the man believed in what I was saying, the first day we went onto the site, Langas.
Problem.
Don't say, hey, we are out of here. We are out of here.
They left.
So, look.
So with all these things that you have, put in a form of a document, a plan and everything, do you have the men to do this? Because we've heard it before, we have the men. And when we give the men the chance to, run things for us, we had a problem.
Yeah.
You need men who will share in your vision to implement all these things, because Allan can't sit at the office of the president do everything.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And when things go left and you have heads must roll and everything.
Yes.
Basic question, they said, do you have the men, human resources to implement this?
The talent is here. They need to be mobilized.
Okay.
And they will be mobilized only when you have a plan to mobilize. For example, I've said I'm going to create 10 new strategic industries which will diversify our economy away from cocoa.
Okay.
Vehicle assembly and component manufacturing. Do you know that through my efforts in Ghana, 5 out of the 6 global auto companies are now assembling cars in Ghana?
I was at one of those things.
Really?
Yeah. I profiled it. I think the Amasama one or something.
We have Volkswagen.
Yeah.
We have Toyota. We have Nissan. We have Hyundai. We have Kia.
Yes, Kia. I was at the Kia one.
We have Peugeot.
Yeah.
There's nowhere in the world that you would have 5 of these top companies competing in a small market.
What about Kantanka?
Oh, China, Kantanka, dear grammar.
Okay.
So you ask, but how did this happen? Just policy. I didn't have to spend even $1 of government investment. Just providing the right policy. The kind of things I'm talking about, the same things that somebody has read, somebody who has capital. Oh, this guy. I tried and also somebody reads the same thing and say, but this is the country to go to. And they have brought their money. She say, like I'm saying, all these companies are assembling cars here. Now, you know that what is even beautiful? They're not just assembling, no. Before I left office, I had started a new program for them to manufacture the parts here in Ghana.
Okay.
So we are now going to manufacture parts which will feed into the assembly plants. Just policy. The same thing I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
Now, so if, for example, I'm saying that I'm going to create 10 new strategic industries, I just gave you one example.
Yeah.
There's the pharmaceutical industry that I've been talking about. There's the petrochemical industry. by adding value to our oil and gas resources alone, even if we don't do anything else, it can completely transform this country. Because out of that, we'll get fertilizers, we'll get bitumen for our roads, we'll get plastics. You know how you get plastics. Plastics is the residue from processing oil, petroleum. So all these new industries, where are you getting the human resource, like you say?
Yeah.
That is the beauty of this new platform. You get me?
Yeah.
The 3
million
jobs. Because I know what is going to happen. And I've started creating a platform to document the interests of all of you young people. So that, somebody will say that, if I read GTP, Allan says that now the pharmaceutical industry in Ghana is going to blossom. I'm interested in that. So I put my details on the platform, and I select maybe pharmaceutical industry. Those who want to go into automotive, you select. Those who want to go into agro-processing, you select. So by the time I get into power, I hit the ground running because I know the skills requirements. Yes, you selected a particular industry, but I need to brush you up. You understand me? Because the Muslim was school, it only gives you the platform.
So that our educational system too.
So that's what I was going to come to. That our educational system requires a complete resetting and rebooting. Look, why is it that you can study music in America and end up going into medical school? It's because your mind is the critical thinking. Everything is based on critical thinking. You get me? That this kind of education, mother, all you need is just go and then cram and then you go. And then forget. It's not just chew and pour. Chew, pour, and forget.
Okay.
And now it's a cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
It is designed that way that you have to forget it. Because you only chewed and you poured it in the exam. So it's finished. You forgot it.
Yes.
Because you have not retained, you are not a problem solver. So the type of curriculum that I will put in place is to train your mind to solve problems. So in my case, I can do so many things at the same time. Because I'm a magician. Yes, it's all because of critical thinking. As soon as the issue comes, will be a friend, you frame it. It's framework. I call it framework thinking.
Okay.
Once you create a framework, then you have a formula. Once you have the formula, you have the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful conversation with Mr. Allan Kyeremanteng. We have discussed everything. So right now, it's your prerogative. By the end of the day, you see, policies-wise and everything, you do your own analysis, understand what you need, your wants and everything. And when you did the polling booth or whatever inside, make sure you vote for somebody that will represent your interest. But anyway, thank you, sir, for...
forgive me a shout out. I would say, make your own judgment.
No.
Because say, I didn't know one who said, Hey, the man did. It was. I understand. Don't worry.
Yes, by the way,
we should have a critical.
Yes, critical thinking. Yes, so they should just. The document is online though for those who want to read about the great transformational.
Because the 10-point plan is only a small part of the great transformational plan.
Yes.
So I really encourage them.
Yes,
by all means, read the 10-point plan because that is youth focused.
Yeah.
But the youth focus lies in the belly of the
GTP.
Of the GTP.
Yes. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen. But please, before we go log out, the boys and girls for the WhatsApp group, just tell them something. Me, I'm not going to do the selling. You are the one going to do the selling.
Young people of Ghana, this is an opportunity for you. The first opportunity that is being provided to you as young people to take the commanding heights of the Ghanaian society. And remember, power is a struggle. Nobody will hand over power to you by chance. But we all know that if we are talking about those who constitute the majority of our population, it's you, the young people. And so, yes, I want to chart a path forward for you. I want to open up the way for you as a transitional president and give you the opportunity to build a new class of young Ghanaian leaders. So I'm recommending myself to you. And let the people of Ghana believe and understand that it is the youth of Ghana who are bringing Allan. If you make this clear and the young people start making it clear, either on radio, through new media, then that is the young people of Ghana who are making Allan the president, the game is over. So it's over to you.